Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Joanny and I am a physician associate student in the UK. I have been getting a lot of requests to do a video sharing with you guys what resources I have been using in my first year of PA school, and I thought that I would make a video showing you guys the books and the resources and the websites that have helped me through my first year. So I just wanted to put a disclaimer out there that these are the resources that helped me. They might not be good for you, but these are the ones that I would recommend. You can try them out, and I'm aware that it would not work for everyone, but these are the ones that worked for me. So I would recommend them and you can decide to buy them or not. Okay, so I'm going to start with my Netta's Anatomy flashcards. I've had these flashcards since I was in undergrad, and I basically like them because they are divided into like different systems. The flashcards are good because they summarize the different systems really well. So this is what they look like pretty much. So this is an example. They basically have the drawings on one side with like the labeling, and then when you turn it on the other side, it shows you what the labels are. I think they're very good for like revision and stuff. So if you're revising for exams and you want to quickly remind yourself about the anatomy of stuff, like these flashcards are really good. I've been using them since my first degree, which was biomedical science, and they've really helped me. So I would recommend these for anatomy. Obviously there are loads of anatomy textbooks out there. If you are looking to brush up on your anatomy, there are some anatomy textbooks out there. I haven't really used any anatomy textbooks, so I can't really recommend any good ones because I haven't used ones, but this is basically what I used for anatomy. So yeah, that's the first thing. The next book that I would recommend is the Oxford Handbook of Clinical Medicine. This book is really good because I think, and a lot of PA students I think would agree, and medical students as well, it basically has like a lot of the conditions in here, and it has like the diagnosis, differentials, management for a lot of conditions in here. And I don't think all the conditions are in here, but most of them are, and it's a really nice one that you can take with you on placement and stuff, and it's for the different systems. So yeah, I think this has really helped me to like make my notes and stuff, and it's really good. So I would recommend this one. And then this book, the Top 100 Drugs book, is really good for pharmacology. So there is a new edition. There's a new edition which is green in color. So I bought this one before I started PA school, which was way too early. And they have included physician associate students here. And in the new one, in the green book, it's really good because it shows you like the different types of drugs. It shows you the mechanism of action, the adverse effects, the interactions, prescription, how you would communicate starting the medication to patients, and how you would monitor them as well. And it gives you some clinical tips. So yeah, I really love this book. I would really recommend it. It's really good, and it's got like the top common 100 drugs there. Not every drug is in there, but the top 100. So yeah, this one is really good. Next one is Mind Maps for Medical Students. Okay, so this book was made by a medical student. I don't really use it much, but if you are someone that likes things summarized already into mind maps and stuff, this book might be suitable for you. So for example, this is the renal system. They've summarized nephritic versus nephrotic syndrome, and they've made a nice little mind map here that you can look over. And then this is, so for example, diabetes insipidus, and it just really summarizes everything into one page. It's really good because it summarizes stuff for you. I think I didn't use it as much because I ended up making my own posters and my own like mind maps and stuff. So, and I was using the guidelines which keep changing. So some of the management in this book might not necessarily be according to the guidelines. So I have used it for some stuff. I think for like the murmurs in cardiology, there's a page on here that really summarizes the murmurs in a really good way. So I don't really use it that much. and I'm thinking of giving it away to someone actually. But if you guys really like stuff in this kind of format, then I would recommend this book to you as well. My next one that I have found really useful is this Oxford Handbook of General Practice. I bought this book quite late into my general practice placement. I wish I had bought it earlier, because especially if you're doing GP for all of first year, some unis like my university who does GP for all of first year, this book is tailored to general practice. And I feel like even as a working in GP, which I'm interested in, I think I'll still need this book as well. It's so good because it's, like I said, it's tailored to general practice. So it goes through all the different conditions, different systems, different conditions, and it talks about like different things that you would see in general practice specifically. And it's so good because like it has all the information there, differential diagnosis, like it separates them into presenting complaints, and then it shows you the differential diagnosis and then how you treat it. So it's really good. And yeah, I really like this book, and I wish I'd bought it earlier into my GP placement, but it is really good. And so the last one for the books that I would recommend is the OSCE Cases with Mark Schemes, which is a revision aid for medical finals. This book is amazing. If you're preparing for OSCEs, like apart from Geeky Medics, I'm going to show you the other websites I recommend, this book is amazing for practice, both clinical skills and communication skills. I love it because it has scenarios in here, and it has the marking scheme in here. So you see there's different stations. It gives you different scenarios for all the different systems, and so you can practice with your friends. So it gives you the scenarios, gives you like the mark scheme, like what you're supposed to say, and you can, even if it's not your friend, even if it's just your family member or your loved one, they can be the patient for you, and you can take a history from them. So yeah, this book is really good. I think when I was practicing for my OSCE, my friends and I used this book almost every day to practice taking histories, and to practice our communication skills and explanation and planning. There's so many different scenarios in here that you can actually just practice with anyone, really, all they need. So these are the mark schemes, like it tells you what you should have mentioned and the marks that they could give you and stuff like that. So I think it's really good. So those are the books that I would recommend. So in terms of websites for studying, my very first number one website that I always recommend is NICE CKS. So basically you just Google NICE CKS and you can search whatever condition you want. This is the best for me, even though it's very wordy. I would always recommend NICE as my first line, because these are the guidelines, and when they do test you with examinations and stuff, they always test you according to the NICE guidelines. So I would say that if you're searching up any condition, I would say start with NICE first, and then if you can't find a condition on NICE, I'll show you other websites that you can use. So NICE CKS is really nice because if you go on background information right here, it breaks it down into definition, prevalence, risk factors, complication prognosis, how you diagnose it, management, and it gives you prescribing information as well. So all the drugs that you use in treating that condition, it gives you information about the drugs. So some of you may know that when I make my posters, I do the Dear Sim format. So D for definition, E for epidemiology, A for etiology, R for risk factors, S for signs and symptoms, I for investigations, and M for management. And as you can see, NICE sort of splits it up in that format in a way. But I think the downside of NICE is very wordy. So, but I think your summarizing skills will come with time. So the more conditions you do, the more you'd be able to pick out the important information that you need. Because obviously, if I'm defining hypertension, I'm not going to write every single thing. This is not going to fit in my poster. So you need to be able to pick out the necessary information that you need in order to make your poster. Now, if you can't find stuff on NICE CKS, my next website I would recommend is patient.info or patient.co.uk. So when you go in there, you can type in the condition on the search bar. Make sure that you click like the professional version. So this one for conditions, the ones that come up as conditions, I think that's meant for the patients themselves because it's more simplified. They don't use medical jargon, but the professional one I think is meant for professionals. So if you click on there, again, it also divides it into epidemiology, etiology, presentation, differential diagnosis, investigations, and management. This is good. This website is good. It also bases its investigations and management on from the NICE guidelines, so you can trust this website as well. So yeah, you can use this if it's a condition that you can't find on the NICE web, on NICE-CKS, you can use this one as well. And this one is less wordy as well. So yeah, I like patient.info, and you can recommend it to your patients as well. I've seen my GP recommends this website to patients all the time, so it's a well-trusted website. And then if you can't find it on NICE or patient.info, then you can try BMJ Best Practice. Remember, it's BMJ Best Practice and not BMJ. So BMJ Best Practice, you can search up conditions on there, and the format is a little bit different. I think people say that BMJ is an American website. They tend to go into a lot more detail, and they give information that you don't necessarily need. And with their management as well, I think, I'm not entirely sure if it's based off the NICE guidelines, but sometimes I do use BMJ if I can't find a condition on NICE or on patient.info. So yeah, those are the three websites that I always use all the time. Now, moving on to websites for revision and stuff, my very first one I would recommend is Geeky Medics. So Geeky Medics has different so here, if you're practicing for OSCEs and stuff, this is the Geeky Medics actual website. They have like scenarios for clinical examinations, clinical procedures, data interpretation. So for example, the cardiovascular exam, if you click on there, it should come up with things to help you with the cardiovascular exam and stuff, and videos. They also have videos. They have a YouTube channel as well. Geeky Medics has a YouTube channel, so you can check them out. And they also have resources for communication skills as well. So with com skills, you can actually do practice history taking, taking a history if someone comes in with palpitations, how to go about asking patients about their ideas, concerns, and expectations, and all of that kind of stuff. So Geeky Medics is really good. And then you also have Geeky Quiz. So Geeky Quiz is good because it you can practice some questions. So they give you practice questions in different systems. So you go on Geeky Quiz, you have to create an account. It's free, but you basically click on learn, and then you click on personalized quiz, and then you click on clinical questions, standard quiz, and then you can say use new questions, and then you can select the topic that you want. So I'm gonna go with, let's say, care of the elderly. You can select more than one topic, or hematology and stuff, and then scroll the way down, click number of questions, 10, 20, 50. So I'm gonna go for 10, and then you start quiz. And then yeah, so you have all the questions there. These questions are made by either medical students, PA students, healthcare students, or medical professionals themselves, so doctors, nurses, PAs, and all of that stuff. So it's a really good website, I would say. The questions are really helpful, and they really helped me as well to prep for my FCM exam. Now, if you don't want to use Geeky Medics, I think I know a lot of PA students use is Past Medicine. Now, Past Medicine was made for medical students, really, and the level of detail I found with the questions tends to be really very detailed, a lot more detailed than what you find in Geeky Medics. So I tend not to use Past Medicine because I feel like I don't know, it's just too detailed for me, and I don't know, but some PA students use this and they love it. They love using Past Medicine. So if it's up to you, it's up to you what you want. So I would say try both. Try Geeky Medics, try Past Medicine, and use whatever one you feel like you love using. So yeah, you can choose anatomy questions or like the questions for different systems. I think the number of questions that you get with a free account is limited. If you want like unlimited number of questions, I think you have to get a subscription, but I've never bought a subscription. So you can set your exam date and then it would keep telling you how many days you have till the exam and stuff like that. And so these are all the questions that you have access to with the free, while just create a free account. So there you go. So yeah, these are all the different websites that I've been using, and obviously I've shown you the books as well that I've been using. Again, I'm just going to reiterate the fact that these are the things that have helped me. Obviously other PA students use different things. I would say that you can try these ones and then obviously be looking out for other ones as well. If you find something that helps, that works for you, please stick to it. Or you can try other things as well and just literally see what works for you and then take it from there. And in terms of books and stuff, I would recommend that you wait until you actually start before you get these books. And so in terms of things that you would use for clinical skills, I think the very first thing I would recommend is to get a stethoscope, but I would recommend that you wait until you actually start PA school before you get a stethoscope, because your faculty, members of your faculty might have a stethoscope that they would recommend for you guys to get. I personally got mine before I started PA school, and actually I wish I had waited before I started, because everyone else recommended the Littmann, I think, what's it called, Littmann Classic. So it was a Littmann Classic 3, I think. That's the one that everyone recommended. It has a bell and a diaphragm, but I got the Littmann Select. It doesn't have a bell bit, but to get the bell effect, you just have to apply light pressure, and to get the diaphragm effect, you apply firm pressure. So in a way it does have the bell and the diaphragm, but it's just one side. So you can, I don't know, this is what I got, this is what I use, this is what I've always been using. You can get this one if you want, or the one that they recommend is the Littmann Classic S3, I think that's what it's called. But you can get it on the Littmann website, and yeah, that's the stethoscope that most people use. I would also recommend that you get a nurse's watch, or a watch like this, because this will help you with OSCEs as well, to calculate rest rates and heart rates and stuff like that. And then if you can, I would recommend you get your own sphygmomanometer. I can't even pronounce it. Basically what you would use to measure blood pressure, mainly because like you might not have the chance to have access to your uni's sphygmomanometers all the time, so it would be good to have your own, so you can practice at home with your parents or with your siblings or with your friends and loved ones. So I think this one is really useful. Also, when you do GP placements as well, the practices generally always have the automatic ones, and they don't have, well, they probably have the manual ones, but some practices don't even use it, so it might be good to have your own, so you don't have to be asking for theirs. And another thing that I could recommend if you want is a thermometer as well, because what I found in GP, like in the room that they put me, they didn't have anything, and a lot of the time I had to borrow like thermometers from other rooms as well. So if you want a thermometer, you can actually buy one. Again, I would say that wait until you start PA school and then see what you need before you buy one. Obviously you're definitely going to need a stethoscope, but again, if you haven't already bought one, I don't think there's any harm in waiting first before buying one. I don't think there's any rush. So yeah, those are the books that I have recommended, guys. I hope that these have been helpful. If you have any more questions, again, leave them down below, and I will try my best to answer. So there's a lot more videos as well that I'm going to be putting out over the next few weeks, just answering you guys' questions. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely day and God bless. Bye.